What's up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? My face is red. Ignore it. I got very dry skin. I just treated it, and right after it always makes my face even more red. So, it's just something you're gonna have to deal with. Not often do I make a video about the same thing twice. Well, it's not really about the same thing, but kind of. But I wanted to talk more about the Snow White drama. I've noticed, since I've started making videos on here, that YouTubers that I look up to, actually, or did, make videos that go along with the popular opinion because they're too scared to speak their minds. For example, Patrick CC just released a video called How an Entitled No-Name Actress Ruined a Disney Classic. Patrick, I've been following for years. I don't believe he actually thinks this. I believe, and if you actually do your research, there's no way you could actually think this. It's just the fact is out of the millions of subscribers that he has, most of them are men. So, if you were to go against the grain here and say, no, I don't think Rachel Zegler is the reason why this failed, he would probably lose a lot of subscribers. And that's what I mean by I'm attacking YouTube in the hardest way. Is I speak my mind on subjects. Sometimes the popular opinion is right. It's not here. It's just not. Here's the facts that big old Patrick CC that does all his research and, influences a bunch of teenagers and young adults left out of his video. Rachel Zegler got casted. Everywhere, all you were seeing is Snow White, and she's not even white. It's in the name. That's an actual quote I read. People started throwing a fit that she was white, as I made clear in my last video. Okay, imagine being in her shoes. You're a young actress, not very well known. You get a breakout role, playing a princess. That is your first introduction to the public. Is, wow, I'm not white, so fuck me. So, she makes comments about the 1930s, how princesses and, most of the stories back then were about white women. And then that pisses off the very people that made shit political in the first place. Nothing says freedom of speech quite like you giving your political opinion and then getting mad when somebody does the same. Then Disney decided to throw $250 million at a movie that was not going to be as good as its predecessor, and a movie that is 100 years old. Who is a majority of 30-year-olds right now? People like you and me. What is one of the first movies that come to mind of live-action remakes that you want to see? I guarantee you Snow White is on the bottom of that list. The demographic for Snow White is older and mostly women. Even if you're a woman and you're thinking, what are live action remakes I'm most interested in? It's probably shit like Mulan, Pocahontas, and The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, the shit they've already done. That's why we're just now getting to Snow White. So why would you throw the same amount of money towards this movie that you did all the other ones? It was always going to be a financial failure. But Disney, being the good old honest pondering company that they are, would rather blame her than blame themselves for being too stupid to realize something that my ass, that doesn't get paid millions of dollars, could have told you in the first place. Throwing $1 billion at this project that's going to be worse than its predecessor was a stupid idea. $250 million, sorry. That is why it failed. Not to mention, it's not a good movie from what I understand. And to my opinion, none of them are. I watched the Lion King remake. To me, there's no reason in hell why I would ever watch that movie over the original one. Yet it made $1 billion. Critically, these movies are not good. They're cash grabs. The difference here is The Lion King is a story that lines up with us adults, right? That's one that we would want to see. Lilo and Stitch, that's probably going to do $1 billion. The Little Mermaid, these are all popular ones that we watched when we were kids. Snow White is a very old one. Not saying that it's any less significant or that it's any less popular. In fact, on the contrary, I think 20 years ago, if you did a live action remake of this, it would have made more money. But the fact is, you threw $250 million at a live action remake that isn't going to be as good as its predecessor, that has a very niche audience. And there's these political things. Disney is using Rachel as a scapegoat as to why the movie failed, and I can't find that more fucked up. Your movie failed, Disney, because you made a bad movie and because you failed to realize throwing $250 million at a movie with a very niche audience is a stupid idea. The Little Mermaid and The Lion King successfully worked out because the people that watched that movie when it came out are now young adults, are now my age. So that would interest them. Snow White is not something that I watched as a kid. That's something your grandmother watched as a kid. So you got that going against it. It's 100 years old. I mean, the original film, not quite 100, but like 90 years old, you know? So not only is it aimed at the older demographic, but it's aimed at little girls too. It's very niche, is what I'm saying, when The Lion King wasn't and The Little Mermaid wasn't. So throwing the same amount of money at this as you would at The Lion King, expecting to make just as much, was fucking stupid. Now, bring in the politics. Rachel Zegler, while I do believe how she comes across is a little bit irritable, and I could understand that, what she said was 100% true. But don't sit here and tell me that what she said is why the movie bombed, when the people that are mad at what she said are the people that weren't even going to see this movie in the first place. And reacting to these people saying these political things, I would do the same fucking thing in her shoes. I do not blame her at all. And if you go on IMDb right now and you look at all the comments, it's just a bunch of dudes that didn't even watch the movie. I gotta tell you, man, nothing says sexism is stomped out quite like a million dudes getting on IMDb, bombing a movie because a woman had the gall to clap back at the people that basically condemned her for being white. To the majority of women, on behalf of men, I promise we're not all that stupid. And to see YouTubers like Patrick CC that I like refuse to talk about that side of it, because that's the less popular side, but it's the more true side, well, it pisses me off. I think it's funny that the same people that complain that nobody speaks their mind anymore, nobody has the balls to speak their mind, are the same ones that don't like me. Speaking your mind, even if it goes against the popular opinion, is not an easy thing to do. Making that White History Month video was not an easy thing to do. Making videos that I know are going to get hated by many and loved by few is not an easy thing to do. But you know what it does? Is it gets people to subscribe to me. The you in the YouTube. If you're going to lose all your subscribers because you have the gall to speak your mind, then they were never subscribed to you for you. They were subscribed to you because of the content you create, not because of who you are as a person. And that's the difference between what I'm trying to accomplish and what these big YouTubers are doing. Because if I was in Patrick's shoes and I had the amount of influence he had, I would be making the same video I just did. Actually doing the research, looking at the numbers, and bringing up the facts that Rachel wasn't even the first one to make things political. I also think it's funny that, people say actors and actresses should stay out of politics, but then when Bruce Willis throws on a MAGA hat, well, you're all clapping like dumbass seals. You know what's pondering? Saying shit you don't actually believe in because you're scared you're going to lose your subscribers. That's pondering. I guess the only people that are allowed to speak their minds are misogynist douchebags that just hate women and fucking get mad anytime there's a black mermaid. I mean, is that really what it's come to? That those are the only people allowed to speak their minds? Because it doesn't take a genius to figure out why this movie failed. Gal Gadot's acting is flat. I could have told you that before watching it. She's played the same character in everything she's in. There's no way they're going to make this live-action remake better than the original. None of them have been. So, that's 2 strikes against it. Critically, none of these movies have been good. But for a casual fan, they seem to like it. But if you go on IMDb, you would see the contrary. Because people that, like I said, aren't even watching it are just going there and review bombing it. But I don't see Patrick talking about that. People can be mad at Rachel Zegler all they want, but the more and more guys that make videos about this, calling her a brat that ruined the movie, blah fucking blah, that blindly ignore the fact that she wasn't the first one to make things political, that people wanted this to fail the second they heard her casting because she was mixed, you're circling around an idea that isn't true. And whenever you have millions and millions of people that watch your shit, it's important that you get the facts out there. Not just what's popular. Not just what opinion is popular right now. I could have easily just made a video the other day and said, Rachel's a fucking brat. Look at what she did to Disney. Like the rest of you goddamn hillbillies, dude. But no, I don't believe that. Because I can do fucking basic math. And I refuse to ignore the shit you guys were saying a year ago when she was casted. $250 million towards a garbage movie. That is why this movie didn't fail. That is why this movie didn't succeed. The Little Mermaid succeeded because it had a wider audience. The Lion King succeeded because it had an even wider audience. This is the most niche we have gotten with the live-action remakes while throwing the exact same amount of money at it. So, this is really on Disney. I mean, they're stupid. It was a stupid investment. And I could have told you that, and I don't get paid millions of dollars. If anything, the budget should have been like fucking 15 million, 50 million. Like 210 million for this. The same amount that went into The Lion King, basically. Why? Like, yes, I would argue that Snow White is a more popular story overall, but not for the audience that you're trying to get in the seats right now. Because a majority of the audience that you're trying to get in the seats right now that have kids that are little, that are going to see princess movies, are people that grew up way past Snow White's time. Now, I'm not saying that Snow White doesn't have its audience. It does. I know that there's plenty of, women my age that watched Snow White whenever they were little. But I'm just saying, as far as popularity goes, as far as who's in their 30s right now and has kids and is going to the movie theaters, Snow White is not the most popular amongst the stories that you have. So throwing the same amount of money at this, expecting it to make $1 billion like The Lion King, was just fucking stupid. And there's really no other way to put it. Like, The live action remake I'm most curious in is Lilo and Stitch. That's what I grew up on. The live action movies that people are going to be most interested in are going to be the movies that they watched as kids. Cinderella is so old, or fucking Snow White is so old. This isn't going to be one of the, like, I could have told you that. But the fact that Disney is trying to use Rachel as a scapegoat, the fact all you grown men were rooting for this movie's downfall a year ago and are now just sitting here bombing it, you were always going to do that no matter how good the movie ended up being. It could have been perfect and you would still be review bombing it, because how dare, like I said, a woman speak up and get out of place? Do you think you're doing anything other than proving her comments true? But what bothers me more than that is that popular YouTubers are too fucking scared to speak their minds. And that's irritating. I genuinely don't believe that Patrick believes the video that he just put out is factually accurate. He was just pondering to what the popular opinion is right now. Where are you speaking up about that? I'm against pondering assholes. It's negligent, it's irresponsible, and it's stupid. And if your subscribers are going to unsubscribe to you because you dared to speak your mind on something, then, dude, those aren't subscribers worth having anyway. Blaming an actress for a fucking $250 million disaster, it is stupid. The company was stupid here, you know? Like, no matter who played Snow White, it would have never been a financial success. But like I said in my last video, the women that have went and watched it liked it. A casual moviegoer likes it. I probably wouldn't like it. I'm a bit more critical. I don't like any of the live action remakes. I think none of them are worth the money that they're investing into it. None of them have been better than its predecessor. It's a clear money grab. I would rather watch the cartoon. There's my opinion on live action remakes. I am interested in the Lilo and Stitch one though, just because I'm curious in how they're gonna pull off the graphics of that one. But I doubt it's going to be as good as the original Lilo and Stitch. I mean, even if you are doing a play-by-play of the same fucking movie, some stories just work better in cartoon form, like The Lion King. I don't want to see actual fucking lions talking, you know? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say here is, it sucks to see YouTubers I like be pressured into this situation where they just have to talk about what's popular and lean towards that opinion they don't even agree with because they're scared of losing subscribers. And that's why I'm going about YouTube the way that I am. Because if you are here watching me right now, you likely like the fact that I speak my mind. And my God, if becoming a famous YouTuber means doing the opposite of that, count me the fuck out. Because I'm always going to do that. I don't give a shit that the popular opinion right now is Rachel Zegler ruined Disney. That isn't true. If you look at the facts, that literally is not true. She is just a scapegoat right now. And I don't see... Obviously, if you're an actor, you know, to a degree, you should stay out of politics. You should, right? Y'all made it political first. And she made a comment about the 1930s that was completely true, and now you sexist assholes are proving her comments true. Do you really think you're not? When you're leaving a 1 star on a movie you didn't even fucking watch because a woman spoke up about sexism, do you not think that that's fucking sexist? Whatever. Love me or hate me, I don't give a shit. I'm never going to be a fucking sellout. Even Moist Critical, one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, didn't have the balls to say that Rachel Zegler isn't the reason that this failed. He went and saw it, gave his honest review, and did say that it's not as bad as people are saying, but he didn't even have the balls to talk about the political aspects of it because, well, then you would lose some subscribers, of course. But, you know, I'm glad he didn't just say the same shit that, like, Patrick is spewing or Sean Chandler or all these fucking idiots. You are literally factually incorrect when you say the words Rachel Zegler ruined this movie. But if you were to ask a woman that went and saw it, you would ask my grandmother. I was talking to my grandmother about it. To her, it's like it's the same story. Like, she liked it. She enjoyed it. The target demographic likes it. Older women and young women are enjoying it. The only women I've seen not like it are women that are critical of movies, you know, and don't like the movie because it isn't a good movie and has nothing to do with Rachel Zegler. So literally, this is just a big, blown out of proportion story, all because these racist, misogynistic assholes got mad Snow White wasn't white. Got mad that the actress talked about the 1930s. And now, I'll be damned if a woman is going to sit here and say sexism exists. Come on, y'all. Come on, Army. Let's go fucking one-star this shit. She said sexism existed, and that's incorrect. That's how you look. Just so you know. That's how fucking stupid you look. The fact that in 2025... that's what's going around right now. That's the big story. That is because of sexism. Why in the actual fuck are millions of people blaming one actress for this movie's demise instead of the blatant factual evidence in front of them while proving her comments true? It's a bad movie that Disney threw too much money at. That's why it's not successful. You idiots made it political the second you found out the casting choice, and you've kept it political all the way up to this point. And the fact that I'm having to watch YouTubers that I know disagree with this stance make videos shitting on the actress because that's the popular opinion and they're too scared to give theirs. So much for being against pondering, right?